Like, people moaning about, like, how oppressed they are in the industry, and it's like, fuck off, you're on, like, ridiculous amounts of money. Like, shut up. I don't think people realise how good they got in the industry. The funny thing is, when I've had them artists leave to do their own shop, they've always said, fair play. Like, fair play. Like, my shop's, like, cheaper than yours, less people, and fair play. Like, it's a lot of work. Yeah. That's, to be honest, that's a part of how I'd sort of look for the new artists as well. Like, I'll normally get them in for a guest and get a feel for them, even if they're a sick artist, but they've got a massive ego or rockstar mentality. I'll just be like, nah, not feeling it. I'd rather I don't want, even if someone's amazing, coming in and just fucking the flow up of everyone. Before going into fine art, I was going to be an architect. I still probably would, to be fair, because I get a proper little stiffy for a nice building, don't I?
Can see how many people are going into the industry at the minute wanting to do black work, but sort of not really learning the things that would benefit the most. That got me into the industry, so I am still grateful in a way, but I think it also held me back because I think I spent a lot of years having to correct those mistakes that I was making. It told me that if I ever left, that he would get someone to break my legs. I mean, he wouldn't have, obviously, but when I was 18, I believed that. I was shit scared. No to stopping tattooing. I think from the womb to the tomb for me.
Hello and welcome back to the podcast. I'm Alex Lloyd and this is the 21st Century Tattoo. Sophie, Shaun, nice to meet you both.
Nice to meet you too, man.
It's good to be here. I mean, this is like my neck of the woods now, isn't it? So it's cool. I've been looking forward to this one. We've been trying to get this in the diary for a while, so here we are. Exciting. Nice. I mean, let's start with Bridge Street. Okay. Shaun, I guess I'd love to know. Talk to me about kind of how the concept of it came to be, how long it's been here.
Yeah, Sam. So I was in partnership at a different studio. We went separate ways, which led me to this place. It was absolute shit tip. It was like derelict for like 12 years. Anyway, a lot of blood, sweat and tears went into it. Came here with, I think, me and one other artist at the time. And then, now we've blossomed 5 years later. 9 artists under us. Good reputation.
Yeah.
Like great art, like really good artists as well. Pretty buzzing how it's gone. Like,
I mean, the reputation definitely precedes you, you know. I mean, it's one of those, I knew about the studio like when I was before. I mean, I mean, as I was getting into tattooing, I guess. Oh, really? Around that sort of time. And I'd heard about it, you know, and like to have all of those artists, you're obviously doing something right, you know.
That's nice to hear that. I hear that every so often, where they'd be like, I've heard of your shop. And even though like I've owned a shop now for probably total like 7 years, even when I get them little moments like that, it's like, it's like when you read like a good like Google review. Yeah. It's a bit like, it's pretty done something right.
Yeah, it's nice to have the recognition, isn't it?
I think it's nice as well that people enjoy like working here and guesting here and stuff as well.
Because you know more than anyone like how much I'm running around all the time. Sometimes I forget to sort of stop and like look at what's gone on. I'm like, oh, you know what, actually done all right there.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, what is the secret to the success of it, do you think? And did you come across any like real challenges that maybe made you think, fuck, I can't do this?
Yeah, definitely.
There's a lot of challenges.
1,000,000%. So in the way I got the shop, it was a bit of a panic, a bit of a time. Like I had to kind of rush to get it sort of ready anyway. So straight off the bat, it was quite scary from going from a partnership in an old studio to one on my own. And then little things like when artists leave, obviously I'm under no illusion that artists are permanent. So I've never had that experience where an artist left before. Yeah. So, but at the time when I first started, I think when I first met you, like 2018, I had a few leave at once and stuff like that. And it was like, okay, that's a big hit. So like mentally it's hard. But you just got to
it was at the time of switching to chair rent, wasn't it?
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. So it used to be a chair rent.
No, it used to be
it used to be percentage, yeah. And then in order to get some consistency, because obviously when you work with a few different artists, some work more than others, this, that and that, which is fine. Yeah. But there's no consistency there because if like your busy artist has like a week off, which again, fine, you take a big hit. So I needed that consistency where no matter who you are, no matter how much you work, I'm getting the same amount. But some of the quieter artists had to leave, which is fair enough. Like it was sad because I lost some artists who really like, still consider them friends now, but for the benefit of the studio, had to be done. So yeah, but that's probably the best thing I've done. Isn't it,
yeah,
really?
it's a benefit of the artist as well, isn't it? Because if you're massively benefit and you work harder, you get all the reward from it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so that sort of then was like, okay, let's make this a place where no one feels like they have to leave. Not in the sense like you're not allowed to leave, this or that, but I want it to be like, you know what, try and do everything I can to try and make it just run as smooth as I can. Give everyone everything they want within reason, obviously.
Yeah.
But again, with that's also the hard part is, and this recently, coming to realise I'll never be able to keep everyone happy because I'm always trying to keep everyone happy. But everything, if you do something to please some people, you might not. And that's the hardest thing to do because I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself, don't I? I'm always like...
Yeah. You always just want everyone to be really happy working here, don't you? Like,
like...
I think that's what you deem to be like the success of the shop is that everyone enjoys working here rather than
that's what I want, definitely.
Side.
That's why I'm not like money greedy or anything like that. I'm not always like, give me like bloody 50% this and that, blah, blah. And like, I won't give you anything. Like I try and keep it as fair as I can.
Yeah. I mean, that in itself, I do think it's a bit of an impossible task anyway, trying to please everyone. I'm a bit of a people pleaser just generally as a personality anyway. Yeah. And you end up just like negatively impacting yourself.
Oh, massively.
I don't think people really realise like actually what it's like. A lot of people are like, I want to own a studio. But that fine line between... Like there is so much instability. If you think being a tattoo artist and being self-employed is unstable, then having a studio is just.
Yeah. The funny thing is when I've had them artists leave to do their own shop, they've always said fair play, like fair play. Like my shop's like cheaper than yours, less people, and fair play. Like it's a lot of work, and I'm like, thank you.
Yeah.
In a sense, like glad you realise it now. Like it is a stress. As much as I enjoy it and I love having a shop, it is a stress. But
I think people can think, can't they, from the outside looking in, that it's really easy and anyone can
they see it, and that's what make people go get their own shop half the time, isn't it? Because you think, it's just the same job. But I had the same realisation when I opened the first shop. I used to think, it's the same job. I've just got to pay an extra bit more rent to another premises, wherever that. But I was wrong. It was like, there's more to it. Yeah,
there really is.
Yeah.
So talk to me a little bit about who you've got working here, and yeah.
So obviously we've got Sophie Brown, and then I'll go from floor. So we've got Bam Roberts, Athena, and then floor above that we've got my room, James tattooer, Polly tattooer, Leon, myself, and another room. I've already covered, so Dan Jones and Jess Owens, all covered different styles, which is like what I really wanted for the shop as well. I'm very particular about who we take on.
And all really talented.
All very talented. That's really why I'm very particular. Yeah. It's like, I'm very like, I've turned people away offering for jobs even when I was like advertising for them or even if I got the space. Like, because there's one person, there's a station there available, but there's a very specific style that I would like. I won't just have anyone just to get the money in. I'd rather cover all ground. I don't want anyone to be out of work. No one step on each other's toes. We've got more black and grey artists because black and grey is it's arguably so much of it going around.
Yeah.
We've got, even with the blackwork styles, we've got different styles of blackwork covered. You know what I mean? So yeah, we've actually got a really good balance. And it's a good banter as well. It's a good group of people. That's the most important thing. There's like, it's like a little family, isn't it?
Yeah, that's the nicest bit. It's just like everyone gets on with each other so well.
Yeah.
And everyone's like on a same level where like no one takes everything like too seriously. Like everyone's pretty chill and just like has a good laugh in that.
It's normally quite hard to do, isn't it? When you've got so many different personalities working under one room, you think there'd always be like some form of conflict, but 5 years going strong and I can't complain with the people in it at all.
Mate, honestly, you smashed it. I mean, from what I can see, and the caliber of the work coming out there is top notch. I mean, with your work itself is mind blowing. I don't know how you kind of go put it together.
Thank you.
Do you kind of like do you handpick these artists, or do you kind of get how do you kind of do that and all the decisions and the day-to-day stuff in the studio? Is it a collaboration and a bit of a, or is it?
So I've got so as for the artist wise, I mean, how did I get the artists?
Yeah.
So
It's different with each person, isn't it? There's some that
you were sitting on the couch, weren't we? So we'd be like
Leon,
places.
for example, like we really wanted Leon.
Leon's a little
Leon
gem.
was working in Warrington, where I'm from, and you could just see he had like so much potential.
Oh yeah, and he was like, nothing against the shop he was at, but I feel like he'd
outgrown the shop.
Yeah, he outgrown the shop. Like, nothing against the shop he was at, but it was like asking for a guest, and then Sophie was just like, don't ask for a guest, ask for a fucking job. So I was like, all right,
just ask him to work it. And he did, and he was just like, okay.
Yeah, it's so funny because I didn't know what to think of Liam over messages to start with, because he was like, yeah, homie, I'll see you soon, homie, and I was like, we're gonna have a little M&M coming here, like. But he's honestly, he's the funniest lad you'll meet. Shout out to Leon, like.
That's cool. Do you get like take guests and stuff?
Yeah. That's, to be honest, that's a part of the how I'd sort of like look for the new artists as well. Like I'll normally get them in for a guest and get a feel for them, even if they're a sick artist but they've got a massive ego or rockstar mentality. I'm like, I'll just be like, nah, not feeling it. I'd rather I don't want, even if someone's amazing, coming in and just fucking the flow up of everyone. Because like I said before, we've got like a good mix. So you don't want to just throw a spanner in the works and be like, oh yeah, everyone's unhappy now because that one person's sucking the energy out of everyone. So we normally do that, and if we get a good feel for him, I'd be like, listen, like, spot there, this is how it is, I'll leave it up to you. Yeah. Just keep me updated, and normally it's worked out well.
But then some people just worked here because you were friends, haven't they? Like, you knew Jake growing up, didn't you?
Yeah, that was there. I love working with Jake now, because we've known each other for a good, like, 17 years, like, back in Runcorn, our town. And, he got into tattooing when he was still living in Runcorn, working in Runcorn. And we ended up, again, slot there.
Yeah. Like, and then Polly and Bam were both your apprentices.
Yeah, Polly and Bam, they're absolutely smashing it.
Yeah. So they've kind of come through from the beginning.
Yeah, so Bam was my shop manager at the old shop, and he came with me to this one. And I knew he was looking into doing it and stuff like that, and out of loyalty as well, I thought, before anyone, I'll give him the opportunity to be an apprentice. So I could see you drawing, do want to do it. And then Polly, I was tattooing her for years before opening this as well. She was a great artist anyway. She did like uni and stuff like that, all art related. And she asked me. And even back then, I couldn't pass it up because I knew how good she was at drawing. And I'd just taken Bam on. I didn't really want to.
Yeah.
But I know from the start anyway, Bam has always been drawing a certain style. So I thought, I can't pass this up. So I had 2 apprentices at the same time.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, don't do it. I mean, I love yous, but it was hard. It went hard. Like Bam's a little rock star, literally, and he set him homework, he wouldn't do it. Yeah. Whereas Polly was a little teacher's pet. She'll admit that. You'd be like, give me a flash sheet of this now, like by tomorrow. She'll be like, yeah, okay, do it. And she'll smash it. But Bam's put his effort in other ways, and to be fair, they are both killing it. Like, I couldn't be prouder, to be fair. They're absolutely killing it.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
Like, I'll be working the second convention with him, UK TTA. So that's like a nice little, like, I'm working me shows me apprentices. It's quite nice.
Yeah, that is cool. To be able to go down, like, do you go down as like a full studio?
Yeah.
I won't be going to this one. But...
Yeah, last minute she forgot she had a handy.
Are you not going? No.
So I booked onto it and then realised it's my friend's hen do in Malta that I'd already booked onto on the same weekend. Yeah. And then I weighed up Birmingham and Malta.
Yeah.
And
she was probably torn up, weren't you? Yeah, fair enough. She was reading out the itinerary, weren't you, for the hen do and being like, right, so we're doing this, doing this. Like, right, so if you can either do that or work in Birmingham for a weekend. Yeah. I'll be like, okay. Fair dues.
No, yeah, I get it. Fair enough. Yeah. Well, first of all, like, you guys have obviously got such a good relationship, and congratulations on the engagement.
Thank you.
Thank you.
And you guys have got a child together?
Yes.
Yeah.
Nice. I guess what I'd love to know maybe is how you guys met and what that kind of working relationship is like, and is it stressful working together, or is it quite easy to keep the things separate?
I think it's easy, to be honest.
Yeah.
So we've never really had a problem with it, have we?
No, I love, because
we met like 10 years ago, 11 years ago.
Probably, yeah, something like that.
Because I came into the shop that he used to work at that was around the corner for a tattoo, and then obviously he was working there, and then you just get to know people.
Oh, you as a client?
Yeah, not to get tattooed by him, to get tattooed by the guy who owned it.
Yeah, there you go. Clocked you across the room, mate.
She did a little bit, yeah.
And then we just kind of like got to know each other, didn't we? And then ended up getting together like 5 years later.
Yeah. I think it was like 6 or something, 6, 7. Because we always seen each other like eventually. We knew each other anyway, because like you were only working in Warrington, weren't you? Which is only the next town over from Runcorn anyway. So we knew each other from the industry. So yeah, so like finally asked you out on a date, didn't I?
You didn't ask me out on a date.
Okay, asked you out.
You asked to come round. Wasn't that romantic?
Well, not romantic. I had to bring my puppy round to seal the deal because I told her I had a 6-month puppy. She's like, all right, come round.
Yeah, that's not fair. Just bringing the puppy around. Yeah. Is it because I mean I work with my partner and I mean but it works, do you know what I mean? I think for some people it's like doable, and I think if there's other people like to kind of keep it separate.
Are you in the same room as your missus as well? Is it open plan?
Yeah,
because I think that's why ours works a bit better as well, maybe because
you don't see each other.
Well, we're in separate rooms, but
we're
like
in separate rooms.
No,
I don't think that's why it works.
No, I was about to say something nice then.
Okay.
So like the sensor machine and all that's in our room. So like say if she comes in off a little break or something like that, sometimes it's nice to have that little all right. Yeah. Whereas if she's always there, it's kind of like you're still there, but it's nice to have a little surprise when you come in and I'm like, all right.
But I just think, to be honest, we just genuinely get on very well.
Yeah.
So there's not really a lot of friction anyway. We're quite like on the same wavelength with things, aren't we?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
So it never really bothered us, to be fair, has it?
Not at all.
What's the best thing about working together then?
I think it's just like when we both have a good day, we're just having a good day together, isn't it? Like,
yeah. And I think it's nice to share the good moments at work with each other. Like, you know, like we're both really happy that like the studio's thriving and like all the artists are really good and everyone's really happy, and it's nice to kind of like be in on it together.
Yeah. And so it's the first sort of like tattooist girlfriend I've had, or fiancé even though. So it's like just to have that same sort of thing, and we're both going through it together, having like that good day. It's nice to bond with, you know what I mean? It's a nice.
You can understand what each other's kind of getting on with, because like tattooing, it's just like, I mean, as well as some other trades, but like I think tattooing in itself is very unique in the fact that we all just take it home.
Yeah.
And it just that like work life and like home life just bleeds into one.
It's not, I wouldn't really say it's like work, really, is it? It's more like, it's like your passion.
Well, it is. It's your like, whole life, isn't it?
Yeah.
But it helps with the understanding at home though as well. So it's like, if I go home and let's say we haven't seen each other much today because we've been busy, and I'm like, oh, I've got to work tonight. She understands, well, yeah, you got to tattoo tomorrow, so you got to draw. You know what I mean? So it's not like I'm always in like overtime at an office or something like that. She's like, I'll never see you. But like, we both do, like say, oh, sorry if I'm quiet tonight, I've got loads of drawing to do. It's like, there's an instant understanding of like, well, yeah, because I'm doing the same thing.
Yeah.
So I think things like that, just out of work, helps.
Makes you feel more supported, I think.
Yeah, and if like either one of us are feeling like overwhelmed with messages and stuff like that, we both get it, and we both like be like, right, we'll sort it or whatever. Or if she's stressed about something, or I'm stressed about something, we're both on the same wavelength. So it massively helps. Yeah, massively.
So. Yeah, it's cool. We'll talk a bit more about that. Well, I kind of I like dip in and out of stuff.
No,
I'd love to speak to you about tattooing. First of all, how do you define your style?
I don't know really. Broadly, it's blackwork.
Yeah.
Within that, I don't think I really feel a need to define it. It's just, I just do what I do. Yeah. I just do my own thing.
Yeah. No, it's cool. It's instantly recognisable, like, as your stuff. Like, I think you're doing like masterclasses and stuff now, yeah? Talk to me a little bit about those, because I've seen a little bit. I kind of...
So I haven't done too many because, to be honest, I started advertising it just before Christmas, and then obviously it's really busy. So I kind of started off really, really motivated with it, and then got a bit distracted, and then now I'm like, oh, okay, Christmas can't out, so now I'm going to start doing it again. But it was more, to be honest, just that I can see how many people are going into the industry at the minute wanting to do black work, but sort of not really learning the things that would benefit the most. And I know that like I learned black work by myself, just by trial and error. So I just thought, you know, if someone like 5 years ago could have said to me, oh, you can go and like spend the day with this artist and then, you know, learn the things that are going to benefit you the most, I would have jumped on it.
So who is it aimed at? Is it aimed at artists who obviously already have an understanding of the style and technical application, but then just kind of taking it to that next level?
I would say probably, I never sort of knew this term, but probably like junior artist. You know, someone who's not an apprentice, but maybe hasn't really got the full skill set that they want.
In like early years of tattooing.
So it's kind of like, you know, just something beneficial. Like you can come, ask all the questions that you want. I'll do a tattoo explain through it, and then they'll do a tattoo, and I just kind of tweak what they're doing and like show them things.
So is it kind of like, are you in a sort of seminar, in-person seminar format, or kind of a little bit more one-to-one?
It's really one-to-one, yeah. That was why I didn't want to do it as a seminar, because I think I learn best and remember best by doing something, and I think that there's only so much information you can take in and retain from someone just speaking at you constantly.
For like hours on end.
Yeah, like I feel like 70% of it you're probably going to forget by the time you actually come to apply it. So I just kind of thought back to the ways that like I would have found it the most useful when I was in that position. Yeah, so it's really one-to-one. And what I do is I send out a questionnaire after they've booked it. Just kind of like, what are the areas that you want to improve on the most? Like, what's your setup? Things like that. And that way I can really like tailor it to that person on the day, because I want it to be like as beneficial to them as possible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I think it's a great idea. I think it's really good. You don't see as much of it. Do you know what I mean? As well, like you see a few more of the sort of seminars, and there's definitely people kind of doing that. But those one-to-one things, I think, are really, and it's almost like a mini kind of like apprenticeship sort of vibe. It's cool.
Yeah, I got the idea, to be honest, from I saw a cosmetic tattoo artist do it loads, and I just thought like,
why aren't we doing it?
Yeah,
you can easily transfer it over.
Yeah, definitely.
Just want to talk to you quickly about some of the newer cartridges in the Ghost cartridge range. These are the blackout carts. First of all, let's talk about the packaging. I mean, super slimline, matte black, absolutely love them. These obviously are some of the larger configurations that you can get hold of in the industry. And they come in a curved mags and also in the round shaders as well. Their newer edition is the 111 round shader. Shaun, you yourself, I mean, you're kind of a bit of an all-rounder. I know you do like a lot of different stuff. I've also known that you kind of keep like your Japanese sort of stuff slightly separate, whereas the other stuff is all in one. Talk to me a little bit about that.
So, one of my favourite styles, to be honest, is doing is Japanese. But the issue I got when my page started getting a bit more popular, it started to look better because I was posting more and more black and grey, so it looked cleaner. And what I found was when I was posting my Japanese, I think because I started to get people following me through black and grey, it didn't get as much attention. I don't want to sound like, I wanted everyone to see it, but I just weren't getting the same engagement and stuff, and it started to look a bit crap on my page, kind of messed up the look. So I thought, I'll make a separate page, which I'm shocking at uploading on. I'm so bad, aren't I? I thought, I'll make that so then I know whatever messages come through that page, it's not going to be for black and grey, it's going to be for Japanese. So I thought I'd keep the two separate like that, so then I can keep the look of the pages looking sound. But I'm bad enough on my own Instagram anyway. Like, I'm fucking horrendous. That's why I've like, anyone who knows me, I'm terrible at getting back to messages. That's why I've recently put it on me bio, like no DMs, just because I'm bad. But then that reflects into my kamikaze page. Because, and I keep saying to you, don't I need to start doing it more. I think I last uploaded probably in September. But it's shocking, but it's annoying because I'm my own biggest enemy with it, because I love doing it. It's what I get most enjoyment from. I feel good at the end of the day doing it. More buzzing when I got starting to hand your sleeve or something like that. I'm like, fucking sick. I love it.
You still do a lot.
I'm still doing a lot of it, even though I don't post.
You never post it.
Yeah, I'm still doing a lot. I've probably got a backlog of genuinely like 100 and odd tattoos, which I've just got ready to go.
Yeah.
Like I'm even doing some back pieces at the minute, which I'm buzzing with. And I want to share it, like the progress of it. Like I'm doing some voodoo back piece on my mate. I'm like, every session, I'm like, looking sick, looking sick. Not sharing it once yet. So I'm like,
still got that stuff sat there.
Yeah. But I've got one of them personalities though, when like, I always bury my head with things. So I'm kind of burying my head with this to the point where like, I could just change it like that. But I just don't. I'm the same with texting, aren't I? Like, he used to always say like, I'll text them back in a bit. And I always convince myself, I'll do it in a bit.
Yeah.
And then that in a bit never comes.
I can be like that.
Yeah.
You procrastinate.
I'm so bad. Like my mum speaks to her not to get hold of me. She does. I'm a fucking nightmare.
PA pretty much.
Yeah, pretty much.
I'm a tattooist and a PA.
Yeah, it's just a nightmare. But yeah, I really need to sort it out because it's when I'm most happy doing my Japanese.
Yeah. So where did that kind of passion for that come from? Like, because I wouldn't have the balls to tackle that stuff. I know there's kind of like a lot of, not laws, but there's kind of principles
kind of
that you
rules.
have to follow.
Things go with certain things. Things shouldn't go with certain things. Like even like colours.
Yeah. Where did you kind of educate yourself on that stuff? And
being around certain people, reading up myself. Like even in uni, I did a project on Japanese tattoo art. Which they didn't like. They hated it.
Really?
Yeah, uni. Yeah, I actually quit uni. Like that was part of it, really. Yeah, because I was like, I think he had some Chris Garver dragon painting up, which I was like doing a bit of writing on or something like that. And he was like, "Oh, that's not really art, though, is it?" And I was like, "You fucking kidding me?" It's like, "You took me to the Tate Museum last week and made me look at a fucking bin."
Yeah.
How can you tell? I was just a bit like, I had a bit of a back and two, and it was. Long story short, I was a bit like, yeah, I don't belong here. You know, you just know you don't belong somewhere. I was like, fuck that. So yeah, anyway, and then my stepdad used to get like koi fish's ties before I got in the industry. And I was like, instantly, I was like, that's fucking sick, that. I was like, it was well cool. And then every time I doodled, even on my apprenticeship, I was always waves. Even when I got my apprenticeship, to be fair, I went in with a picture of a koi that I drew up. Like looking back at it now, it's probably shocking. But you know what I mean? It was always like that thing with me. And when I started getting it, there's a guy on my back of my neck, old friend of mine, Dan Arietti. That was when it probably took off more because his work is fucking insane. Like, absolutely. Used to watch him draw, and I was just fascinated. Like, watching how he easily could just throw up a Namakubi, and I'm just like, what the fuck? I was massively influenced, and then that's how I met one of my best friends, Dan, who works here actually, and his drawing as well is insane. Like, what's Dan like? Like insanely good at drawing Japanese, and his knowledge is like I could learn a lot from him just hearing him talk about it. So just being around that sort of stuff and being around him and like the way he talks about it eggs me on.
And I think you're just naturally drawn to it and have a natural like passion for it, which obviously motivates you to learn.
Yeah, it's an affinity for it for sure. Yeah. And then the more you do it, you reinforce that, and it becomes like a bit of autopilot. It's
setting challenges for myself as well, because I can fucking recreate a black and grey drawing all day. You know what I mean? As much as I enjoy it, it's nice, and I still get that nice fulfillment. But like, one thing I can say is I've driven a lot to get me drawing better. Like, it's still not all there, don't get me wrong, it's still got a lot to learn. But I'll always like, there'll always be something which would be nemesis. Like Jap Waves used to be my fucking arch nemesis, and now I love doing them because I make sure freehand them on all the time. Like that's another thing I try and do is just freehand as much Japanese as I can. So like, it's drilled into me, like I have to do this right.
Yeah, like I'm kind of sitting and getting a bit like motivated. Yeah, it's quite inspiring. It's good,
mate. But it's how I've done it. Like I remember on my apprenticeship, I just kept drawing cherry blossoms till I couldn't stand the sight of a fucking cherry blossom. Whereas now, like I remember there's a stage where I don't do it anymore now because probably it's a bit daft, but even just doing cherry blossoms straight onto the skin without even drawing.
Mate, you know that the first tattoo I ever did on skin was 3 cherry blossoms on my mentor's shin. That was
mine was a cherry blossom.
Yeah,
it was there, but it finished there. Yeah, as I went through his fucking skin, I
lined it and colour packed it, and it was like one on top of the other. Did 3. Fuck no, so hard. She let me do that.
I had a throw like this and went straight through. Yeah, it's fucking. I fucked him
in one side, not the other. Yeah,
it still glows now, I think. But yeah, it's but that's. I'm still driven with it now. Like when I see some of the pieces out on Instagram now, it's fucking insane. Yeah. Like Dan as well. Always like we always tag each other in like sick Japanese work, and it's just like makes me want to quit, but also makes me want to be like, right, I want to do that next time. Next time I do a hanya, I'm going to try something like that.
Does that make you want to post on Instagram?
Doesn't make me want to post on Instagram, right?
Yeah, well, you have to do it, man, because I want to see more of your stuff.
Yeah.
Is there one artist then maybe that you kind of really look at doing that style and kind of like pushing that really stands out to you?
Oh God, that's a fucking question, that. But I'm going to have to come back to me on that.
Okay.
I'm literally picturing loads at the minute.
Yeah, I know, there's almost too many. Well, we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Right, let's talk about obviously your black work as well there. Like where did you kind of really start to create those pieces? Were you doing that from the very beginning? I mean, I guess I'd like to know where that kind of like artistic background began and where you kind of, how you then started to develop your style through that in tattooing.
Yeah, no, I wasn't doing it at the beginning. I started tattooing when I was 18. So before I started tattooing, I was just at college, but I always used to just paint and draw like realistic portraits. So I think when I started tattooing, I thought that I would do like black and grey realism. And obviously at the time, because this is like 12 years ago, that's what was big, was like the footballer cloud sleeves and the angels and like all that shit. So that was like what I thought I would end up doing. It was only for really just doing everything that came through the door that I even knew what blackwork was. And it wasn't what it is now, definitely. Like it was just kind of like little bits of mandalas and stuff like that. But I think just through trying it, I realised that I enjoyed that the most. And then it was just a natural progression, to be honest. There was no moment where I sat and thought, oh God, I really want to be doing these like stippled flowers or whatever. It just naturally happened. Yeah. And just kind of ended up where I am now. Yeah.
Where and how have you seen that blackwork style develop? Like, where is it kind of going? I mean, you're seeing a lot of this kind of like, or at least I am kind of seeing almost like neo-tribal stuff coming back in now. There's and that, I don't know, that's still kind of, is still classified as blackwork maybe.
Yeah. I feel like I can't really tell.
I'm not trying to put a label on it, obviously.
I can't really tell where tattoo's going at the minute, because it just seems to be going like up and up and up, doesn't it? So I feel like in 5 years' time, people are going to be doing stuff that's just like crazy. Like,
yeah. Where does it go? I don't know.
Yeah, like I feel like if you look at like the level of what was like top level like 10 years ago, what's top level now is just like fucking mad. Like,
it would be mad to see. It would be mad to see where the industry is in like 20 years.
Yeah, so I just feel like, I don't know, the sky's the limit really, with and all these artists that are sort of starting now and have more of a vision. Because I think when I started tattooing, obviously like it wasn't mad long ago, but Instagram wasn't a thing, so you were kind of like shut off from what you could see. But now like these people are starting tattooing now and they can see the potential right at the beginning. So it's like I feel like you can just skyrocket.
Oh yeah, there are some,
you can just go
like
so far.
6 months into the tattooing and the stuff they're producing.
It's like insane. Like
incredible. Yeah,
like I wasn't doing that 6 months into tattooing, and I was absolutely shocking. Like
I thought a good few years into my career, I weren't really around people who were like doing that sort of thing, so I was just doing the same thing all the time. So it took me a few years really to even get to that next stage where I'm like, you know what you're saying now, like some people doing it 6 months and that sort of next stage. Yeah. I feel like it took me ages to get to that next stage.
Same here. What is it though? Is it the fact that there's material more readily available? Is it because the technology and the inks and the needles are better?
I think it's knowledge, I think it's knowledge of all that, everything, like knowledge of like what's around you, the equipment.
I think having... If I'd have been able to have that look into the industry through like Instagram or whatever at the beginning, I probably would have known that there's a difference between a good apprenticeship and a bad apprenticeship. Yeah. And I wouldn't have gone into the industry the way that I did. I wouldn't have picked up all the mistakes and just not really known what I was doing. And it wouldn't have been so much learning by trial and error. Maybe I would have known, okay, go to a better studio, and I would have been able to get from A to B a little bit quicker. And then from that, I could have, you can expand quicker.
How was your apprenticeship? How did you find it?
Not good.
Because I can imagine. I can imagine. You tell me again. I'm not going to put words in your mouth, but like, is it? I don't know whether tattooing is still now a male-dominated industry. It probably was more so back in the day. I mean, did you have a tough time of it?
Yeah. I don't want to be like name dropping or anything that. The shop that I worked at was where I started and did quote marks apprenticeship. I was there for about 18 months, and it was just owned by a guy who'd bought a tattoo machine off eBay and opened a shop. And there was a lot because I was 18 years old. I didn't really know the industry. I thought this was my only way into the industry. There was times where he forced me to sit and watch porn with him in the back room and told me that if I didn't, that I'd lose my apprenticeship. Told me that if I ever left, that he would get someone to break my legs. I mean, he wouldn't have, obviously, but when I was 18, I believed that. I was shit scared. And then, and then obviously the technical side of it, he didn't have a fucking clue what he was doing tattooing. So also then I didn't have a clue what I was doing tattooing.
Yeah.
So it just sort of, it definitely, although I'm still grateful that obviously that got me into the industry. So I am still grateful in a way, but I think it also held me back because I think I spent a lot of years having to correct those mistakes that I was making.
And again, it goes back to the.
So I
to the
think it probably took me
information being
longer to
available.
get to where I am.
But at the same time, with what you've gone through, though, probably might have made you into the artist you are today because it's driven you more. You never know.
Yeah, potentially, yeah.
It's worrying. You hear of these stories like all too often. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know anyone who really probably had an apprenticeship over 5 or 6 years ago, like, wouldn't have had an easy time of it.
No, mine was like.
Whereas like nowadays, it's like mad. Like you can just go online and there's
these tattoo courses, like the big one. Just some of them big tattoo courses, like professional tattooing in a week and a half.
Yeah.
Just give us $3,000. Yeah. It's like.
But I think also now, like people, because like Instagram and Google reviews and stuff like that, and obviously like people in the industry are a lot more connected now with Instagram. I think like the likes of that happening in a shop with the apprentices, it probably wouldn't stay on such a down low as what it did back then.
Yeah, definitely.
And maybe then if I was like an 18-year-old girl doing an apprenticeship now and that was happening, maybe I would be able to see a bit more that it's not my only option into the industry, and I wouldn't have stayed there for 18 months and, you know, have been like, I don't want to use the word traumatised, but...
No, it's right though, isn't it? If you went through trauma, it's traumatising. Like, what would you say to a girl then coming into the industry now? Sorry, I'm taking over.
No, that's a good. You want to sit here? That's a good one.
Well, I mean, I do tattoo a lot of girls that want to get into the industry now, and that is one of the things that I say to them. Like, any signs like that, just fucking leave. Like, there's no that you don't need to go through it.
No, like so many shops about now. Like, it used to be like back when probably we were doing it. There's probably like maybe 1 or 2 shops in your town. Whereas now, even you go into a small town, there'll be like even Frodsham, like down the road, Frodsham, tiny village. I think there's 5 studios there. Yeah, it's tiny. It's like one main street.
To be fair, when I started doing, there was a lot of tattoo shops.
Yeah, to be fair, Warrington's a bit different.
Yeah, there was loads of tattoo shops.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I mean, there's pockets, aren't there? Where it's like, and there's like 5 on a street.
Yeah.
Yeah, crazy. What, both of you, is the biggest, maybe the biggest singular change that you've seen in the industry since you kind of started in it?
I think level of entitlement for some of the artists. I'll be straight, like, I can't stand some of the attitude of some of these artists out there.
Yeah.
Does me fucking tits in.
Mine was more positive. I was just going to say the level of the artwork coming out is just like insane.
Obviously that
like,
as well.
I think compared to like 10 years ago, like the work is just like incredible. So mine was more positive. Yeah. Yours was more...
I think I'm just more bitter because I'm like, I had similar sort of like, you know, like I had the apprenticeship from like 10 years ago, so it's different. So it's more for me. I don't know. I see things more, don't I, and take it to heart more. I'm always like, oh, that winds me up. Well, I say to her online, like, just seeing this now, oh, fucking winds me up. Yeah. I'm like a little man like that, aren't I?
Like what? Like what are you?
Just like people moaning about like how oppressed they are in the industry, and it's like, fuck off, you're on like ridiculous amounts of money. Like, shut up. I don't think people realise how good they got it in the industry.
Yeah. 100%. We have got it good.
Yeah.
You always say, don't you, like, try walking down the street and telling that homeless guy that you're fed up because you only make $1,000 a week.
Yeah. But it's like, open your fucking eyes. Like, you know, you can take a week off whenever you want. You can do this, you can do that. Like I remember once when I went to Yosemite in California, I got to the top of this, like, Yosemite Falls. I remember I had this moment, I was like, tattooing people got me here. It's so weird. Like, it was fucking well weird. And then, like, when you hear people just moaning. Funnily enough, I actually was talking about this to a friend of mine the other day. He's actually the barber here. And he said, like, you never see tattoos say anything good about the industry, do you? You always see him moaning online. I was like, yeah.
Yeah, well...
You do, actually. It made me think. I was like, oh, actually, yeah. You do. Yeah, and he made me see it from, like, an outsider's sort of perspective.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he went... Because like barbers, all they do is say proper like positive things about the industry, but there's actually loads of negatives. But they always ever say good things.
Barbers, really?
Yeah. But he said like, but with tattooers, all he ever sees on Instagram is people moaning.
I think it's just the type of people we are. We're all just moody bastards.
Controversial opinion here, but I feel like it's the lad tattooers that do the moaning. I don't really see that many girl tattooers posting up whinging.
Yeah, you're probably right. Although we're getting a lot of good like positive feedback and stuff on the podcast, and this is why I kind of like going out and chatting with artists and just kind of getting people's like engaging kind of people's perspective on it.
Yeah.
So yeah, and you guys have you've been in the industry for a little while now, so I really value your opinion. If you're enjoying the episode this week, don't forget to leave us a rating and a review wherever you listen to your podcasts. What do you two both wish that you had more of?
What, in life or?
Yeah.
Time.
I was like, free time.
Yeah, it's a big one. It's a time like drain.
Yeah, could do with like another 10 hours in a day, I think.
Because I feel like you can either be a bad tattooer and have a social life, or be a good tattooer and don't have a social life.
But it's not just about tattooing as well. It's like being a mom and.
Yeah, but I thought that before having the baby.
It's trying to
have an Archer and then having an Archer.
Fit everything in because your priorities are different now. So.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, is it hard? Is it hard to have that balance then?
Yeah. Me personally, been struggling, haven't I? Like I'm so you, obviously. But we struggle in different ways. Like, I've now knocked my days down, which I thought would be a hard thing because I used to be very like motivated to tattoo as much as I could all the time. Whereas now I've knocked it down after having an arch, the best thing I've done. Like, I've not long, I know I only work one Saturday a month now. Again, best thing I've done. Like, having that long weekend with Sophie and Archer, it's just like sick. Like, I'm annoyed because I wish I'd done it sooner.
Yeah.
Because you used to always think like, working one day less, or I'm going to be this much down, a month's going to be this.
You can't think about it like that though.
But genuinely, you don't see a difference. Like,
you make it work, don't you? I guess.
And this is where it comes to
being
being like,
giving yourself that time, that breather.
Yeah, and this is where it comes to like the realising how good we've actually got it in the industry. That's where I was like, actually, you know what? I love the freedom we got because we
don't get me wrong. Like, I love tattooing. I could still tattoo 5-6 days a week, but it's easy to do that when you're early 20s and you've got nothing else to do except go on nights out or whatever. But now life's different and your priorities are different, and there's like, you've got to balance it out more.
Yeah.
Yeah. How do you both like kind of work best? Are you kind of, what are you working now? You're doing like 3 days a week?
4 days a week.
4 days.
Both doing 4 days, yeah. And are you kind of, how kind of, where are you up to with like bookings and stuff? Are you quite far in advance? Do you kind of tend to draw your stuff like night before? everything's kind of pre-drawn?
Yeah, we're both night before.
I guess I just want to know a little bit really about how you both work best and your design process.
Yeah, I do. If I'm pre-drawing it, I draw it the night before. But a lot of the time I just draw it on because it's quite flowy anyway, so I find it easy to do that. So
a lot of freehand, yeah.
Yeah, I'd say like 70% really.
Especially
freehand, yeah.
Get it to work with the shape of the body probably better as well.
Yeah, it's a lot easier, to be honest. It's just kind of, if I was going to pre-draw it, when I put it on, I'd end up changing it anyway. So you're just kind of wasting your own time by doing that, especially if you're confident in that you know how to draw it on. There's kind of like no point in pre-drawing it. But then you do it like the night before as well, don't you?
Yeah, like I couldn't be one of the people who have like a drawing day, which, if granted it works, I'm like amazing, but with me, like, I like to have it fresh in my head. So it's more the excitement as well. So even doing like a sick piece, I've got design ready. I'm like, I can't wait to do that tomorrow. Makes me excited for the next day.
Yeah.
And like, I think I'd like maybe overlook at the design as well. If I did it like a week before, I'd be like
constantly tweaking it.
Yeah, and I'll probably overdo it. But yeah, when it's fresh in my head, I'm like, sick.
Yeah, I guess it's whatever works for you, innit? I mean, so a lot of my stuff I kind of do on the day with the client. But I'm just quite lucky that I can work quite quickly. Yeah. And I think I'm better then when I've met them and because you never quite, unless if you haven't got the opportunity to do an in-person consultation because of traveling or whatever, over email is never quite, you can never quite get it. And I am so like, OCD and I just kind of work over it and over it, I'd never get it right, so I'd just rather do it on the day.
Yeah, it's fair dues. It is literally just what works for you, isn't it?
Yeah.
See, I think I'm quite different to that. I prefer it over email.
Yeah.
I just prefer someone to be like, I want this. Yeah. I want it here. I want it this big. And I'm like, so okay, cool.
do you get kind of, do they come to you with a brief or a lot of your clients just giving you free rein?
I would say like an in-betweeny. So like people come to me and they'll say like, oh, I want like a floral piece or I want a portrait of this person. But then I am quite lucky that most of the people that come to me are pretty laid back and they're pretty chilled. And they're kind of like, you know, just do whatever you want with that type thing. But then I also have an auto response set up that sends out to people exactly how I work and says, you know, you won't see the design before the day.
Yeah.
If that's not for you, that's fine. But, you know, don't get tattooed by me. So most of the people that I do end up tattooing are pretty chill, which suits me.
Nice.
Yeah. I think it definitely helps when the client's chill, isn't it? Mm-hmm. There's nothing worse than like a...
Yeah, well, you tattoo black and grey, so your clients are never chill.
Mine are all right, actually. Like some of the people in our shop get some mad micromanaging people, or just difficult, or just some customers just want to have the last say.
Yeah,
like I get that sometimes when I guess some like it's very like maybe like 1 in 10. They'll be like, "Oh, can you
moaning again?"
Just make that little bit there, just a bit smaller. But all right, so,
oh man, it's so difficult.
But then I'll go to the photocopier and won't do anything. I'll come back and there you go. Yeah, perfect.
Oh yeah,
it's like some people just want to have the last say, which is fine. But I kind of over the years I've learned you just want to get involved, which is fine.
People that get black and grey sometimes just have very specific visions in their head of how they want it to look.
Like that email. I won't read it out, but Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
That just mad email, didn't we?
Yeah, it was very specific.
I'll read it after this.
It's a real tricky one, isn't it? And it's like, yeah, I guess it's the thing I find hardest is because I, like, again, going back to people pleasing, I want to do exactly what, and then you end up compromising, and actually you should really trust your own instinct with how you
It's collaboration, isn't it? That's the thing.
I think I've learned that over the years through making those mistakes of giving in to people, and then, you know, at the end, they're not as happy with it, and you're just like, oh my God, I should have just trusted my gut in the first place. And that now I think I'm like really confident in that, no, I'm going to do it how I know it's going to look best.
Yeah.
Or, you know.
Just full transparency with them, isn't it? It's like, just like, listen, I've got you. I want you to have the sickest tattoo, so trust me, I've got your best. I've got your best interest in mind. Like, I'm not doing it for my benefit, I'm doing it for your benefit. Like, as long as you like that, no, it's fucking sound, isn't it?
Yeah. That's it. Have you guys got any like crazy tattoo stories that stick out to you? Anything stories. Or any like crazy client?
Oh my God, yeah. My drugged up one.
You were? Oh my God, yeah. I forgot about that.
Jesus Christ. Like, so I got this lad.
Oh, I've just thought one now as well.
Yeah, I had this lad and fucking loved the diazepam name. And I've tattooed him a few times before this session. He always dropped a few diazepams. I was a bit like, mate, calm down on these. Anyway, this one session, he was like very like, oh, what? Like,
didn't he have like 15 or something crazy?
I think at the time when he first told me, he was 12 diazepams deep. He's one of these you love to session on the weekend anyway.
What's he trying to do? Just like
he couldn't be arsed with the pain. Like, yeah. And he was just like, oh, bro. And I was like, lad, just fucking, you're moving a lot here. Like, but and to the point where even when he got off the bed, he'd drop a diazepam and it would roll into, like, let's say the couch, and he'd be on all fours. And I'd come back in the room like, mate, what are you doing? Lad had dropped the diazepam down there, you know, fucking. And
he tried to punch Bam in the face.
Yeah, because he was lying back like this, and I was tattooing like side of his knee or this area, something like that. Anyway, Bam leant over the bed to come see him, and out of nowhere, he just went, fucking hell.
Like that far away from his face, so close.
To be fair, fucking Bam was gangster, like, Bam just didn't do nothing. And he just went back and went, nearly got you there, lad.
And then when he was leaving, he forgot his shoes. He took his shoes off, and I was like, mate, your shoes. Like,
tried paying me twice as well. And I had a bit of conflict with him after this.
Yeah, the message you kicking off.
Yeah, so so even the design, he was trying to pick what he wanted as well while he was off his face. Yeah. So he wanted like sort of like coral at the bottom coming up to this, wherever they're coming up to like the surface, wherever that. Anyway, I was doing a shark, and now he was like, that one. He's going through Pinterest. He'd be like, oh, on that one. I was like, you sure? Like, yeah, because I want that there, and then go have the head of one up here. I was like, all right, like, okay. I mean, looking back at it now, I should have fucking kicked him out to start, but he was sitting. Oh no! So when he tried paying me twice, he was like, right, 20, 40, 60. Wait a minute. No, like 20, 40, but didn't pick up the original 60 and tried doing that. And I was like, mate, go home, like, transfer me later. Yeah. Honestly, it was like, oh, okay, G, all right, bro. So anyway, left. And then even he was like, messaging me something about money. I was like, yeah, you owe me this, mate. No, we don't. Anyway, the next morning he went, bro, I don't remember any of that conversation. I'm so sorry. I'll send you the money through. I was like, mate, don't worry about it. Just, but seriously though, mate, you need to calm down on these things. It's not going to be good for you. Try to look out for him a bit. Like, he's a sound lad. Got on with him. Yeah. And then, and then ended up kicking off and saying, like, I'm trying to have him our money. At this point, he'd only given me, like, maybe 100 quid. I think it was the 100 quid deposit. And I was like, no, you owe me this, mate. And I'd give him, like, a discount for some reason.
Mate, you're even more understanding. I wouldn't let him fucking leave without, like, do you know what I mean?
Well, he's been in before, you see. He had, like, maybe 3 sessions before that. So I knew he was, like, I knew he was go for it. He's a young lad, like, and, ended up being a bit of a kick-off, and it was like, calling me shit, saying, like, he's done a fucking dolphin on him, and that. I was like, I'm not done a dolphin on you. Went, yeah, but it's expressionless. Like, it's like, you asked for it. You asked for that picture. You were off your face. Nah, lad, nah, you just shit. You shit at your job and all. It's like, you've got a fucking problem. Come to the fucking shop. Oh, shit. Like, but just like fucking whatever. And then we're going on about money again. So, no, you owed me 2 hours. And I was like, oh, and it was like, it's just one of them, like, you're a lost cause. Like, whatever.
What was your story?
Oh, my God. It was similar. Yeah. I don't know what he'd taken. It was probably tramadol. Yeah. But he'd come in the summer, right? I'd had him and he'd like, I think he'd come in for his first piece. It was his first tattoo, done like an inner forearm. Gave him all of the aftercare advice. Just gave him some creams to take back. He had a convertible and bit of a fucking bit of a loudmouth, you know. And he'd fresh tattoo. He'd obviously been driving around with the roof down, sunburnt his whole arm. He came in the next day and was like, "There's something wrong with the tattoo." He'd obviously been over creaming it to try and count. The arm had blistered, so the whole tattoo had blistered. Yeah, a load of the black, like, because there was a bit of solid black pattern near the wrist. It was looking really, really unhealthy. I was like, what the fuck have you... And he's trying to blame me. Yeah. It's like, what have you done? He's like, oh, I need you to sort this out now. I was like, mate, I'm not going near your arm for like a while because that needs to just calm down and then we can reassess. You've like fucked this whole thing up. Overcreamed it completely. Then I booked him back in, which I wish I'd never done. He comes back in and he'd had a load of tramadols. And I'd opened up, I think I'd come back from holiday or whatever, and I said, I'll sort you out, I'll get this all done for you, like trying to bend it over backwards to help clients out. And I think I'd come back from holiday, I was like, fuck it, I might as well because I want to get a bit of money in. Yeah. He was off his tits, moving around, passing out on the chair, swearing, like it was just
not a pleasant time. Like,
and when you're sober, and it was only me and him in the shop. Yeah. So I'd opened up private. There was no one else in there to kind of like help me out or I wanted to get fucking rid of him. Yeah. And so he's got half finished sleeve, and I'm glad that I left him with a half finished sleeve. Do you know what I mean? It's like you can have that, you can fix that yourself now. I'm not. So it's the moral of the story is don't let anyone fucking
don't do drugs. Don't do drugs.
The curve mags that I've got at the moment, these are the 49 curve mag. They range from a 35 up to a 49. Now they come pre-sterilised with a safety membrane. You can grab these exclusively from Star with the code 80FCT10 for 10% off. I'll tell you what, I could literally sit here and just have a chat with you about this for a while. But we might as well wrap it up. I mean, I'd love to know, can you both ever see yourselves stopping tattooing? And can you ever see yourself settling anywhere other than the Northwest?
No, to stop in tattooing. I think from the womb to the tomb for me.
Nice.
I think I like
that. I haven't got anything cool to say.
I don't think I'd even want to retire. I think I'd just always want to be tattooing.
I've always said I'll tattoo until I can't use my hands anymore.
Yeah.
I don't think you ever can give it up, can you, once you start?
No, is it like, without sounding corny, it's not a job, is it? Like, I mean, it's like, it's fun, isn't it? Like, we have got a sick job. Like, it's fucking great. I look like just everything. Like, you meet the people you meet. everything like that. It's just sick. It's not even just the tattoo, it's just like the community side of it. Like, it's fucking great, to be fair. Sick. I met some of my best mates in this industry.
For the Northwest, to be honest, when I lived in Warrington, I was like, oh, I don't think I'll ever be happy living in the UK. It's shit here. Blah, blah. Yeah. Then I just realised I think it's just shit there. And then when I moved to Chester, I don't think I could be anywhere else now. I just love it here.
Yeah,
I do love living there, to be fair.
Yeah, it's just such a nice place.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget like how nice it is until we get like a guest coming, and I'll walk in from the car park or something like that. And they're like walking, like looking at the buildings, like, wow, it's fucking nice. And I'll catch myself looking with them, like, oh, gee, fucking hell.
Yeah, it is cool. Nice it's like obviously like a Roman city. And it's sick. And you've got a really cool setup. I love the building. Like, it's got a character, you know. I think, you should keep it going.
Yeah.
Cool.
Like, I lived in Manchester for a few years before I moved over here. And I loved living there at the time, but I think that's such a good place to live in like your early 20s when you're like just going out all the time. But like, here is such a good place to like settle. Like, it's a little bit calmer. Like, it's kind of like got enough going on that it feels like a city, but also feels like a small town at the same time. So you kind of got best of both.
It's a good place to bring up Archer as well. And it's just a nice place. Like, everything's good, schools are good. It's just like I said, a nice place. You get benefits of it being a city, but the quiet, also not too busy like Manchester. So for work and family life, it's like perfect.
Would you want them to be a tattooer?
You don't want them to get a tattoo in general anyway, do you?
Really?
Yeah, she's
how the hell are you going to have that conversation?
She's one of them.
I'm like, mum now.
Yeah. Tattoos are bad.
I don't think I want him to be anything other than happy. He can be whatever he wants to be. I don't have like a vision of what I want him to do with his life, as long as he's just, you know, making the most of it and he's happy.
It would be cool to be tattooed next to him one day. That'd be a nice little sight. It'd be that cool. But like, I'm with you on that. Like, obviously, I wouldn't say no to it. It'll be because I know it can have a lot of benefits.
You're up for doing his first tattoo, aren't you? But I could never.
This is the thing. I'd love to do his first tattoo. Don't get me wrong, but like we were talking about before with the knowledge, because we know there's so many sick artists out there. If you told me you wanted like this like sick neo-trad piece, I wouldn't be like, I can't do neo-trad, but I won't be able to do it as good as like Kike in Barcelona or something. I'd be like, I'm booking you with Kike. You know, it's like,
I don't think I could ever tattoo him. Oh, I'd hate to put him in pain.
Well, wait until you get through the teenage life, you might feel.
You might change your mind about it. This is a good time for me to ask you the question that was left for you both from the previous guest.
Okay.
And that is,
one could say, right, I'll give you a dream job, even though tattooing's your dream job. What would your other job be if you could do it?
I think I would probably do something with makeup. Makeup or decorating like wedding cakes, I think.
Nice, still creative.
Yeah,
love that.
Well, it's so fun. I'm not giving much thought because I love my job, but before tattooing I wanted to be an architect.
Oh really?
Yeah. I was before going into fine art, I was going to be an architect. I still probably would, to be fair. Because I get a proper little stiffy for a nice building, don't I?
It's fascinating. I like my brutalism.
Mate, you should see me going around and say, I'm like, that's a sick building, that.
Yeah.
I love that building.
Favourite era for architecture?
I don't know, actually.
You always seem to like the really decadent like cathedrals and stuff.
Yeah,
like
probably
that,
better to tell you more place, if anything. Like, I love Prague. Prague's one of the nicest sort of like old places with like insane architecture and well preserved. Yeah, like it's not like a shithole which is just old. It's just like really nice.
It's gorgeous.
Like I love like features. I love big blocky buildings where like then again Budapest was like gorgeous as well, wasn't it? Yeah, just like probably say more European, old European buildings, definitely.
Yeah, sick.
I fucking love it.
Yeah, man, it's cool. I like a bit of an Art Deco.
Oh yeah,
I like that sort of thing.
Nice.
Yeah, sick. Yeah, cool. Nice. It's been good. Have you got something that you want a question for the next guest that you want to leave?
Go on.
Are you leaving this to me?
Don't know who wants to ask it.
You so stupid before my one. And now you made me feel stupid.
I didn't say it was stupid.
There's a quote in the car park.
It's spray painted on the wall.
Spray painted on the wall, which says like, would the child version of you be proud of the person you are today? Okay. So I would ask, I'd reword that to be, would the apprentice version of you be proud of the artist you are today? And if so, do you give yourself enough credit for it?
Nice.
Because I feel like a lot of people don't give yourself enough credit. Like, you doubt yourself loads, but you're an insane artist.
Thank you.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, probably say that.
Sick. It's been really good to sit down with you both. You guys have got a really cool like vibe, and it's been good fun.
Sweet.
I've enjoyed it.
Yeah, me too, man.
We've got one last thing to do, and that is the drawing challenge.
Okay.
Yeah.
But we're gonna spice it up, and we're gonna do a bit of a Mr. and Mrs. drawing challenge. We've got a piece of A5 paper. You've got a Bic. You've got a HB, a 2B, and a 1/2 mil fine liner. I'm gonna be hitting you with some Mr. and Mrs. questions just to see how well you truly know each other. I'm going to give you 3 minutes to draw the Eurotrad spray can. 3, 2, 1, go. Who's the funniest?
Me. Shaun.
Who takes the longest to get ready?
Sophie.
Who's the most attractive?
Sophie by far.
Oh, that's nice.
Cute.
That is nice. Who's the best dancer?
Oh, I don't know. I've got some good moves. Me, defo.
Jordan looks like a dick.
He's gone straight in with the leaves as well. I love this. Who gets the last word?
Sophie.
Oh, Sophie.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
Who takes the most room in bed?
Shaun.
Me.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who does the most of the cooking and housework?
Me. Oh.
Cooking, Shaun. Housework, always me.
Nice. I feel like you're agreeing on all of these at the moment.
Yeah.
This is good. Who's the one to remove the spider out of the room?
Oh my god.
Both of us? No, I've
never removed a spider from any room.
Yeah, I know, because you.
Who's the better cook?
Oh, me.
No.
I'll lay off your chicken dinners. They're not even that good.
I make banging rooms.
Right, we've got 2 minutes left. So, Shaun, I'm going to ask you, how many times did Sophie take their driving test? Take her driving test?
Once.
No.
Oh, it's wrong. Sophie, what is Shaun's trademark scent?
Yeah. Sorry.
Is that right?
No. It's like a D squared like aftershave. I think.
Yeah, that's my latest one. My mum got me.
Nice.
Shout out to mum.
Right, Shaun, who is Sophie's best mate?
Oh, she's got a good group of mates, to be fair. Probably say Sadie.
Yeah.
Okay. Sophie, what colour is Shaun's eyes?
Hazel.
Is it right? It's right. Okay. How many children does Shaun want?
Ooh, this is a thing at the minute.
1 minute left.
He wants 1, potentially 2.
Shaun, what's Sophie's shoe size?
It's a weird one here. So she's actually a 3, but she says she's a 4.
Okay.
I know her shoe size better than her.
Yeah, I would agree.
This is good. You know each other pretty well. What is Shaun's alcoholic drink of choice?
Just Serrano.
Yeah.
Okay.
Tastes like Dr. Pepper.
Right. What is Sophie's favourite restaurant? They look so similar. This is cool. I love that.
I'd probably say an Italian, Sergio's.
Is it right?
That's not, is it?
It's not right now. I would say gaucho for the steak.
Yeah, bang it.
Oh, yeah, it's good.
What's Shaun's favourite song?
I feel like it's just something cringy by Eminem. I couldn't name a specific song.
There you are. Time's up. Time's up. Put your pencils down. Nice. I love that. You got pretty much all of them correct as well.
Yeah.
Sick. How we got on? Banging.
Mine looked a little bit dickish at first.
Yeah, I kept thinking of what to write on that. So I was just like bolding in lines because I didn't know what to write in that, and then I lost. Trying to concentrate at the same time and draw.
But Neotrad is not my thing.
That looks sick.
I feel that's got like a new school feel though.
Yeah, it's cool.
How's he gripping the can on that? Fucking spray it.
That's what made it look dickish.
You okay, bud? You barely drawn a spray can.
Nice one, guys. It's been good fun. Yeah, thanks for being a part of it.
No,
appreciate it. Cheers. Nice one. Thanks for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the episode this week. Don't forget to head over to YouTube, hit that subscribe button. Don't forget to leave us a rating and a review as well on Spotify or podcast, wherever you listen to them. Really helps the podcast grow. Massive thank you for all the support so far, all of the comments, and to our sponsor, Ghost Cartridges for Season 2. I'm Alex Lloyd, and this is a 21st Century Tattoo. Whoa. That's it. Disqualified.